Hello, and welcome to the OriginMD channel. This is a Kaladesh only red and green or Gruul deck that is quite powerful and can win against most other decks even at high ranks. It's assumed you've already watched the level 1 video discussing which set to take and level 2 video regarding the basic types of decks that are available in Magic. This deck wins by having better creatures and aims to be aggressive in the beginning and win in the mid game. This deck aims to be aggressive and versatile. You can start off with value creatures and hold it to your advantage in the mid game. You may also foil your opponent's plan, hexproofing your creatures and hitting him with hasty creatures in a surprise attack. When things don't go according to your plan, conceding is a viable strategy to maximize the gold farming and building your collection, so don't be shy to do this. When you play ranked games, every strategy of the deck has to take into account the metagame that changes between seasons. Gruul energy is versatile, but requires experience to operate to its fullest potential, playing around sorcery speed removal and mass removal by using vehicles and hexproof. Depending on when you play in the cycles discussed in level 2, you might reach as high as rank 40 with this deck, although as more sets come into play, it will get harder for this deck to remain at the very top. Traditionally, we prefer to get our cheap creatures out as soon as possible in this deck. Ideally, we want some of the 14 2-drop energy generating creatures on turn 2 and the Aether Revolt on turn 3. If an opponent doesn't play out creatures, we can potentially hit for 8 damage this turn with the Voltaic Brawler and the Helion. Alternatively, you'd want to get the Smuggler's Copter out on turn 2 and want to start crewing it with small creatures for incremental damage. Your finishers are usually hasty creatures or buffs on creatures such as Larger Than Life and Blossoming Defense. Now, let's discuss each card's role in detail. Blossoming Defense is our 1-mana wonder that grants +2/+2 in hexproof to our creatures. This mini pump and getting our opponent to lose his targeted spell can work miracles if used correctly on your creatures and vehicles. Thriving Grubs can be used to grow into a 3/2 and beyond when it attacks, but usually serves as an energy reserve for the Aether Revolt, Cub, Multi-Platform Wonder, and so on. Long Tusk Cub is an excellent 2-drop that has earned the nickname of Swag Tusk by some paper Magic players. If left unchecked and deals damage to the player, he also gives you 2 energy counters, making him a potent threat. Sage of Shalia's Claim is our energy reservoir, chump blocker, and crew or vehicles. Voltaic Brawler is excellent in this deck, since it becomes a 4/3 trample creature when it attacks for 1 energy. Cool value for a 2-drop. Smuggler's Copter was so good it was banned in Standard. Its main advantage comes from being a 3/3 vehicle with flying for only 2 colorless mana. But one less appreciated aspect by new players is that it can shuffle through your deck for new cards. For example, if you have a hand with 4 lands in it and already have 2 lands on the field, you'd rather discard the land and get a creature. Alternatively, if you have no lands and need them as soon as possible, you can discard a high-cost creature to stay in the game. Skyskiff is a poor man's replacement of a Smuggler's Copter, with the 2-power flyer being its only redeeming quality. Its function is to block opponent's flyers or evade opponent's blockers. Harness Lightning is our answer to our opponent's Smuggler's Copters, and with all the energy generated in this deck, you can take care of opponent's big creatures as well. Nature's Way is another removal spell that can take care of opponent's problematic creatures. Larger Than Life is a decent pump spell, with its main disadvantage being that it's a sorcery, making it easier for your opponent to interrupt its cast by getting rid of your creature or countering it. However, when it does get through with trample, it can be devastating. Aether Revolt can be the surprise moment for our opponent, with haste and considerable power and toughness making it a menace to deal with. Other creatures we have can provide the energy, putting the pressure on the opponent to deal with it as soon as possible. Almost always a good draw for our deck. Bristling Hydra can become a 5/4 hexproof creature when it comes into play, making it above curve and a considerable threat. The Fleetwheel Cruiser is another vehicle with haste and trample and can be devastating to an unprepared opponent. Also has crew 2, making it possible for any creature in our deck to become a pilot. Verdal's Gearhulk is a potential 8/8 trample creature for 5 mana. What else could you wish for? It can also supply your troops with 4+1/+1 counters, making it possible to go for this final push against your opponent. You can also put the counters on vehicles if you crew them first. Multi-platform Wonder justifies its title as long as you have mana to cast it and energy to power it. By paying energy, it can become a 5/1 or a 1/5 creature with flying, vigilance and lifelink. If you buff it with blossoming defense, it can also gain hexproof and become a 7/1 creature. Nissa Vital Force is our planeswalker of choice from Kaladesh that can animate the lands and grant them haste, return permanents from our graveyard to our hand, and her emblem allows us to draw a lot of cards. A final note on this deck is that there are variations of energy decks with an electrostatic pummeler. By getting enough energy, buffing it with larger than life and blossoming defense, you can attack for lethal in just one turn with a massive 30/30 or hexproof trample creature or more. I find this build to be more luck-based and less consistent, but you can always try and make it work. The lands we choose are 7 mountains, 10 forests, 2 rootbound crag, 3 Aether hubs that can produce mana of any source using energy, and a Timber Gorge that comes into play tapped. Now that we have discussed the deck, let's play. Alright, let's have a look. I think this is a decent enough hand. I hope I will draw another land by our turn 3 to cast out the healing. But for now it just looks like we can get the Sage of Shallow's Claim out to get some additional energy for the healing. Right, we did get another land, so let's cast out Sage of Shallow's Claim. Black mana and an island, and an Aether Hub. Our opponent plays out a Deathcap Cultivator, so might be some sort of a ramp plan. Has green and black at the very least. So I think I don't mind just playing out the Latuhelion and attacking. If our opponent is running some sort of ramp plan, this is going to hinder it at least for a while, and hopefully we'll get some sort of energy source next turn to prolong the life of the Latuhelion, and then another mana to cast out the Verdal's Gearhulk. So judging by the fact that he didn't jump block, his Deathcap Cultivator has an essential part to play here. Let's see. It does get 2 clues out of this exchange. This also means that we can get rid of the Tireless Tracker here with the Nature's Way. So let's go ahead and cast it out. This way we can get in for 6. Pay for the Helion and wait. Sacrifices 1 clue. Let's see if he has drawn any answers. Let's have a Greenwheel Liberator that is going to become a 4/3, which is fine. Alright, we got a Fleetwheel Cruiser. If we do cast it out, let's say that he's going to jump to block the Fleetwheel Cruiser with the Liberator, and then he jumps the Cultivator. We don't have enough mana to also cast out the Blossoming Defense. So I think I want to keep it as a surprise for our opponent. For now we're just going to attack. Alright. Exchanged like this. I'm actually not going to cast out anything at all. Alright, this is interesting. It's a card I haven't seen in a while. So he does get a Scion, and I'll draw this Scion on the field. So an additional blocker here. He does have two card types. Right, sacrifice the Scion for the Bristling Hydra. But he is at 6 life. That's not too much. Let's see, if he blocks with the Hydra, he is still going to get some damage. And he is quite low on life. So I think it's prudent to just go ahead and attack. Right. We get in for 5 damage, leaving him at only 1. And then we can crew the Fleetwheel Cruiser with the Thriving Grubs and cast out Blossoming Defense. Of course, if he doesn't attack at all, he will be able to block. So he's attacking with 2 of his creatures, gets in for 6. Let's see, if we crew the Fleetwheel Cruiser and we cast out the Blossoming Defense, it's going to become a 7/5. He has 9 and he can use the 3 energy to get 1 more counter, so he has 10 defense. So I think this turn we're just going to go for our creatures. And all we have to do is just survive this turn. If we can, we might have enough payload to close out the game. So let's wait and see. Alright, Gruul Liberator will come into play with the additional counters on it. Also has a Verdus Gearhulk, so full throttle. Don't know if we'll be able to push through with this. Let's see just how he's going to attack. I guess he will attack with only 2 creatures right now. Alright. Doesn't seem like he attacked at all. So we got 1 more land here. But we still don't have enough. If we even get the Verdus Gearhulk out right here, this is still not going to be enough to push through. It will become a 9. But yeah. For now, let's just get our multi-platform wonder out. It will enable, we can make it a lifelink and gain a bunch of life, which will hopefully be enough to help us escape certain death. Alright, he has a Nissa, so a really good card draw for our opponent. But unfortunately for us, we don't have Burn in our deck, since this is a Kaladesh only deck. Alright, he attacks with everyone, so we just have to survive this. So, let's see. He has got 6 and 6. We can block 3 creatures here. And then he will have 13 damage. Let's go for lifelink. Let's go for... Wait a second. Yep. Let's go and make it into a much more scary creature and make it first strike as well. It doesn't have first strike. Alright. We'll still gain 5 life out of this, which means we're down to 6. And now we have the Verdos Gearhulk that we're going to cast out. Our opponent has left the game. So we're going to activate the Fleetwheel Cruiser. And this is going to be enough to close out the game. Probably should have cast out the Forest and Blossom with defense as well, but yeah. Alright, let's see what we have here. We don't have green source of mana, so I think we can try again. This is a little bit better. Although we do have problems here, we only have very small creatures and only 2 of them. And an excess of mana, but let's hope we're going to draw something decent from our deck. Let's go for Thriving Grubs, and for now we're just going to try and to grow them with the energy when they attack. Heart of Kiran. How interesting. Alright, we got Nissa. Not too bad. Let's go ahead and attack and grow the Thriving Grubs. We hit for 3. And cast out the Sage of Shallow's Claim. And now, let's wait. Right, our opponent does have Shock. Let's see if he has a creature to use the Heart of Kiran. Doesn't look like he does. But we do have a Smuggler's Copter. This means our opponent is down to 15. And now we'll have to wait if he has removed for Sage of Shallow's Claim. Alright, he does use it on the Sage of Shallow's Claim. So let's hope we'll draw some sort of creature here. Of course, our opponent does have colors that mean that he might have anything in store for us at the moment. Let's go ahead and use Nissa's +1. See if our opponent has Feral Push. I think I'm fine with just attacking here. Unless our opponent has a creature such as Wildfast Monitor. Alright, instead he has another Shock. He now has 3 of them. Not something I really expected, but it looks like he has a creature to crew the Heart of Kiran. And this is going to be enough to take care of Nissa. So I'm not too sure if we will be able to win this game. Alright, we got a Voltaic Brawler here, so we can Gruul the Thopter. And then we can either get rid of Nissa with the Nature's Way, or we can cast out Larger Than Life. If we do, we get in for 7. But I think can't really get rid of Archangel Avacyn this way though. Let's use Smuggler's Copter ability, get rid of the forest. Hope our opponent doesn't have a removal spell for the Voltaic Brawler, so that we can get rid of Avacyn. And then go for Larger Than Life to deal the 7 damage that is needed. We'll see. Alright. Seems to be some sort of version of Marder vehicles here. So he gets in for 8 damage. And keeps his Toolcraft Exemplar to be able to crew the Heart of Kiran. So pretty decent strategy here. We do have the Harnessed Lightning. But we would need 6 mana for all of this. Alright, what I think we have to do anyway to have a chance in this game is to get rid of Avacyn. So going for a Larger Than Life and then Nature's Way is a must here. So let's see if he's going to block with the Heart of Kiran. Let's use this ability and see what's next. It's a Harnessed Lightning, another one, which I'm not sure would be of help to us in any way. Alright. We get in for 3 damage, leave our opponent at 4. Our opponent can attack us for 6 this turn. Let's see if he has a removal spell for the Voltaic Brawler. And if he's going to attack with all he has. He is. So let's have a look at what else he has in store for us. Alright, he has Gideon. Not a bad card by any means. So, if we do get another pump spell, we're going to win. Oh, actually, we do have a way to win. Our Voltaic Brawler can become a 4/3 when it attacks using energy, so since our opponent is tapped out, yep, our opponent has made a mistake by attacking with both of his creatures. We're going to get rid of the token he has created and attack, and using the energy we're going to win the game. Alright, let's try again. Let's try and keep this hand. Alright, let's go for a long toss cup that we have just picked up. See if our opponent has any removal spells. He does have a copter, but this is good news for us, because this means we can simply attack with a lot of healing next turn and we're not going to get blocked. So let's go ahead and cast out the healing. We're going to attack and put a counter on the cub. Hello. Let's pay the upkeep for the healing and wait. Let's see, which one is he going to use it on? He's going to use it on the cub. That means we get hit for 3 damage, but we do have another one. So let's go for the cub. Attack for 4. Bring our opponent down to 10. Pay the upkeep for the healing. And we're fine as long as he doesn't have any creatures out. Let's see. He does have a Scrappy Scrounger, which means he can crew the copter. He also has a Ravenous Intruder that he can bump by sacrificing the artifacts. So let's see. The Nature's Way is a sorcery. If he sacrifices 2 artifacts to the Ravenous Intruder, I think I don't actually mind just going for Nature's Way here on the Ravenous Intruder. Let's see if he's going to sacrifice anything else. We did bait out the copter, so let's wait until the trigger goes, and now we're going to use the Harness Lightning on the copter to get rid of it. Right, our opponent has left the game, and because our opponent doesn't have defense, because the Scrappy Scrounger cannot block, we're going to hit for 6 this turn, and we have also gained enough mana for the upkeep for the lot of healing. So overall I'd say we're in a pretty good position. The AI doesn't attack, but he does have a Smuggler's Copter number 2. Also has a Scrap Trawler, which means that he can get another copter back. But we do have another forest, which means that we can get our Verdus Gearhulk out. We can put 2 counters on the Long Tusk Cub. And the rest on the Verdus Gearhulk itself. Then we can attack. He's going to have to block both of them, but this means that both of the creatures are going to go to the graveyard. He does return a Smuggler's Copter to his hand, but we do have a 6/6 trampled creature here. And his Smuggler's Copter cannot block. Of course, he can activate the Smuggler's Copter with the Scrappier Scrounger, but I don't know if this is gonna help, but I am going to cast out Sage of Shadow's Claim, because this provides us with energy to boost our Long-Tusk Cub. So let's attack. Let's see if this is going to be enough. Right, he does have a Unlicensed Disintegration, so the game is not over yet. Shows just how good and resilient the vehicles are, especially with the recurring theme. Right, also has Pia and Kieran Nalar. Going to generate some tokens. And we have started drawing lands only. Let's go ahead and attack. Cast out another forest here and wait and hope that our opponent doesn't have one more Unlicensed Disintegration. We get hit for 5, even for 7. So we're actually pretty close to being defeated as well. Let's go ahead and attack. Our opponent is naturally going to block, and we're going to use the Multi-Platform Wonder. And now we wait. Right, our opponent has the Untethered Express, which is going to be a 5/5 if he attacks with it. Let's see if he is willing to attack right now. He has a Fatal Push that he can use, and there is nothing we can do about it. This is the first Fatal Push that he has, but he cannot attack with the Express. And our Multi-Platform Wonder can gain Flying and can become a 5/1, so it looks like we have won the game. Let's make it into a Flying. Wait. Yep. Let's get +2, -2, since our opponent doesn't have anything else, and give it a lifelink as well. Now we can attack for 5 and close out the game. I want to thank you for watching and see you in the next video.